Hello, friends. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Hope you are having a good day. A good Tuesday. Yep, it's Tuesday. I always have to check what day it is. I hope it's going well for you. Thanks for coming to hang out. Yeah, I don't. Hi, Jason. Hello, Spark. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out. I have the animals somewhere. Well, Ruby's taking a snooze because, of course, she is. Hi, Lydia. So, what's the topic? Well, I guess I didn't pick one. It's so weird not having a sticker. We can talk about hell. We could talk about heaven. We could talk about life after deconstructing. Hi, Charles. Happy Tuesday. Oh, yay for therapy. I love that, Michelle. Hope you guys are doing well. The flu is everywhere. So it has reached some of my family members, which is a bummer. But so far, knock on wood, no flu for me. Oh, contradictions in the Bible. Yeah, we can talk about those. Um, there are like thematic contradictions and then more like detailed contradictions. Um, But I also think, what counts as a contradiction depends on what you think the Bible, like what the Bible means to you or like what it's supposed to do. Michelle says, told her I was deconstructing. She said, good. I love that. Hi, Bull. So I actually don't answer like personal questions about my, like, I don't know, identity or location or anything. Oh, yeah, Jesus versus Paul. I mean, Paul definitely contradicts Jesus. Jesus says that not a letter of the law should be wiped away. And Paul's like, nah, it's fine. Like, you're good. You don't have to follow the law. Hi, Weston. Hi. What, Jason, what's that last word? Hello, literally. Thanks, Weston. Oh, he isn't nice always. Oops, wait. I mean, Jesus isn't always polite or anything either. Yeah. Hi, Dr. Joe. Thank you for coming. Hi, MA. I'm doing well. Just a normal day. Worked, did chores, that kind of thing. Hi, Night Rose. Well, if you're just popping in, hello. Yeah, sure. So Taylor says, ex-Christian, so you're aware that means hell. Hate to be so blunt right off the bat, but so Taylor, I actually don't believe that hell exists. And it's an interesting concept though, that the God that you worship would send me to hell just for not being able to believe. I'm sorry to hear that, Night Rose. How do you and Justin know each other? We actually were we met through TikTok. Like we joined TikTok around the same time, so we were like each other's first friends on TikTok. Hi, Brian. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Night. Yeah, I believe you, Taylor, that you're not trying to be rude. I think, but I mean, I think that's something to consider is that like the God that you worship is going to do that, you know? Hi, True. Yeah, the thing is literally, I have so many Christians telling me that I'm going to hell all the time. And in some sense, it doesn't bother me that much anymore. But, you know, sometimes it does come off as like, hey, I'm worried about you, kind of, it's, I don't know. It can come from different vibes, I think. Um, Taylor says because he gives us free will to choose him or not. So the thing is, Taylor, once I believe in God, then I agree that you could choose to follow him or not. But if I just am not convinced he exists, I can't choose to follow him. I don't think he's real. Hi, Kabir. Asmika says, nah, God wants you to be saved, but you have free will and you choose. So, again, the idea that I'm just choosing to reject God is incorrect. I just genuinely can't force myself to believe. No, Ruben, I'm not. Hi, cool. No, I'm still on TikTok. So I'm live on TikTok most evenings. I'm gonna try to do YouTube at least on Tuesdays, and get some kind of schedule going. Mhm. Kabir says it's more difficult for me to come openly to be atheist, as in Islam it's a death penalty for apostasy. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I can understand why you'd want to keep that under wraps. Megan says, are you against God or are you just searching for answers? So I'm not against God. And, I have no desire to take people's faith away from them. I create spaces to talk about the process of deconstruction and questioning your faith because it can be such a lonely experience, especially for those of us who were so hardcore about it. It used to be my entire life and being a Christian, and my relationship with God was my whole life. And so when you start to question that, it can feel incredibly isolating. So I have these spaces, I do this on TikTok too, but just for people to not feel so alone in the process. Oh, well, thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. I don't have like a Patreon or anything. I don't, I don't feel like I'm not like providing something, I don't know, for a Patreon. I think though, Justin and I are probably going to continue that series that we started, and probably offer it as a podcast too. Um, any residual feels related to it, doubts, or is it like not believing in Santa? Um, I mean, it's been a complex process. That was my belief in God shaped so much of my psychology too. So deconstructing that took a long time. But I don't like if you're asking, you know, like, do I still have doubts? I don't have doubts about like believing or not believing. Hi, Scarlett. So yeah, I'm no longer a Christian, and this is a place for people who are like questioning their faith or deconstructing their faith. Yeah, Michelle says, I'm getting to the point of having no doubts about leaving. And yeah, to your point, Christopher, I agree that saying that, it's the end times is definitely not convincing. Yeah, you're welcome, Robert. Well, welcome, Mike. Yeah, so we do have the rules that I have are rules that we created on TikTok, just to kind of like keep the conversation going and to not be like too antagonistic. It'll probably take some time to have, a good, I don't know, a good rhythm on YouTube since it's just a different crowd of people. How long have you been out of religion? 15 years, almost 16 years now. Yeah, Mike, the Abrahamic religions can certainly be problematic. Hi. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Hi, Eris. Hi, Luna. Well, Kevin says, what are we discussing? So it's kind of generally about deconstructing and leaving your faith. Maybe, what that process is like and why people do it and how you make it through. Are you happy? Sometimes, I mean, happiness is kind of fleeting, I mean, it comes and goes. I will say my mental health is better. Why did you leave faith? So I just genuinely stopped being convinced that it was true. Well, my faith and my religion were intertwined. So, I mean, I was a practicing Christian, but my faith was in this, perceived relationship I had with God. So it all sort of died simultaneously. Hi, Presley. Oh, well, I'm glad it's been really good for you, Brooklyn. Robert says, felt like it fed off my fears and didn't help me with my own root core mental health. Yeah, I mean, that can be really difficult, especially again for those of us who grew up in the faith that a lot of us, myself included, didn't learn some mental health care skills because it was like, just pray about it. So I know I had some catching up to do in learning those skills. Luna, no, I'm no longer a Christian. Hi, skeptically. Well, welcome, Presley. Thank you, Lucifer. I appreciate that. I can tell you, though, I used to lead Bible studies too, and I'm very, very familiar with the text. So for me personally, it's not about like a lack of knowledge. Hi, Corey. Hi, Mason. Welcome. I don't really share my testimony in this space because that's not what this is for. Kevin says, I can't imagine life without faith. Yeah, I believe you, and when I was a believer, never in a million years would I ever have imagined me being in this place. But, life is funny, I guess. Is your family Christian? If so, do you talk to them about deconstructing? My parents are still very devout, and I did talk to them about it, and that was really hard. But I feel lucky that we've been able to maintain a good relationship. I know that's not the case for everybody. Well, Mason, there is the super chat function if you want to use that. Nori says, I was a fundamental Christian for 23 years, a literalist to God's word. After 2 years, I found the courage to leave. Now I've dropped the beliefs and follow my gut. Well, I hope you're doing really well, Nori. Robert says, did science and the universe have any influence in your process? Um, it didn't seem so directly, but I was in a PhD program at the time that I was deconstructing, so I can't like totally separate those two. Brady says, why don't you believe in Jesus? I know he's real. I've seen him more than once. Well, I'll tell you what, Brady, if I ever physically saw Jesus, I would probably believe too. Hi, Aubrey. Hey, Chena. Well, I mean, that's fair. SM says I wouldn't. I'd check into a facility. And when people say, like, what would it take for you to believe? It would be so easy for God to just be a normal, apparent thing. Like, if God wanted everyone to believe in his existence, he could hang out with us all the time and speaking to God would just be normal, but it isn't. Um, so, yeah. Rose, hi. Um, what do you believe in? So I don't believe in anything supernatural. Yeah. Shits and Giggles says God would know how to convince me. It's true. Yeah, if God knew everything, he would know exactly what we would need to be convinced. Eris says, still struggling with completely coming out as atheist with my family. I hint with talking about news. Yeah, I mean, I know it's really difficult to put yourself out there like that, and some people won't accept it well. So I can definitely appreciate that difficulty. Um, Luna, I stopped believing in God about 15 years ago. Alfred, I don't attend church. That's interesting, Kevin. Kevin says, I personally believe you are judged on your free will and choices, not your faith. Um, that certainly seems more fair to me. It's not what most Christians believe, but I that seems more reasonable than just being judged on whether you're convinced of something. Tommy says, what would be your biggest debate against someone who believes in God? So it's not that I have a desire to prove that there's no God. It's more that I'm just not convinced that there is. Like I I am not convinced that God exists. So, usually the arguments that people will bring are the world is complex. How did it start? Why do we have morals? Why is there logic and math? Like those types of arguments. But I don't find those particularly convincing. Yeah, Ryan says Jesus said he would have come back by now. Yeah, Jesus said he was going to come back within that first generation. Have you read any other versions of the Bible? What do you mean by other versions? You're welcome. What, Kevin? Oops. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Do I believe in God? No, I don't believe in God any longer. Oh, no, I haven't read the Ethiopian Bible. No. Yeah. Douglas says, my therapist and I just started peeling the onion of my religious past. Why don't I believe in God anymore? Lillian, I actually have like a frequently asked questions on my page that gives you my backstory. Hi, Humble. What is the purpose and goal of this talk? So the whole channel that I run, and I do this on TikTok too, is just to have a space for people who are questioning their faith, deconstructing their faith, because it can be such a lonely process, you know, especially if most of your social life and community is wrapped up in what religion you practice. Questioning that's really difficult. Hang on one second. You okay? Oh, thanks, Humble. I appreciate that. Checkers was actually not in the dog food this time. I believe in Doug. Oh, thank you, Eris. I appreciate that. Hey, Krista. What is the purpose or goal of my life? Well, like I don't have a life goal. Like I think this life is what we have. This is it. This is the thing. Um, I find meaning in a lot of things, and I want to connect to people and put kindness out into the world. But I don't have like a concrete life goal. Yeah, and Charles knows that's my favorite quote. Purpose of a human life is to love whoever is around to be loved. Betty, yes, ignoring the hate and being grateful for love is a great way to stay mentally healthy. Hi, Rubes. What you doing? Hi, Eve. Thanks. What are we drinking? We are drinking lemon echinacea tea. Yeah, Tom says being a former Pentecostal, I left as if it was impossible to live up to their intense theology. My peace of mind suffered, but I'm getting it back. Well, I'm so happy to hear that you're getting it back. I know Pentecostal can be such an intense denomination. Hi, Rubes. Oh, nice, an old fashioned. Hey, Ruby, what's going on, baby? If you all have not met Ruby yet, this is, oh, wait, I lied. There she is. This is Ruby. Do you believe in evolution? So evolution isn't a belief system, but I do accept the science of evolution, yes. Hi, Jay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Erin. Yeah, Pentecostal can be a lot. Yeah, Ruby's the best. On my wall, oh, it's just a cheap picture of the beach. Yeah, Tom says all the prophecies spoken over me proved false, yet they claim to speak for God. Yeah, prophecy is a whole can of worms for sure. Oh, yeah. Krista says, I was Pentecostal too. My pastor liked reminding us that our righteousness was filthy rags. I say that's the hardest part to get over. Oh, yeah. I mean, how does that not negatively affect you when someone you trust says, yeah, God views your best as filthy rags? Have a good night, Luna. The Bible says the complete opposite. Of which one? Oh, well, our righteousness is filthy rags is directly in the Bible somewhere. I'm glad it feels chill, Minnie. That's definitely the vibe I'm going for. Have you ever had something science can't explain happen to you? Hmm. I don't know. Not that directly comes to mind. Oski says, I see how religion's very complex. As a Christian, I believe for my family, but am supportive of your decision. So one thing I do want to clarify is that I didn't decide to stop believing. Um, you know, I actually wanted to keep believing, but I just physically couldn't. Hey, Night Shift, good to see you. Oh, really, Krista? That's actually like so extra terrible. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Night Shift. I'm trying to do YouTube a little bit more. Usually, I think I'm going to do Tuesday nights kind of regularly. Religion is guilt with different holidays. That's funny. I mean, I like holidays. Kish says, just curious, if you left a religion, why do you still talk about them? So for a lot of us, you know, our faith was like our entire life. You know, it was hugely instrumental and important. And then when we stopped believing it was actually really painful and traumatic and heartbreaking. And for me, when I went through that process, I I was so alone in it. Like I didn't have anyone to talk to about it. And so I talk about it now so that there's a place for people to come and talk about it, so that people don't have to go through it alone. Mark says, I don't like the debt that comes with Christmas. Yeah, debt's not great. So, Green, I agree that sociopolitical topics are important. And it's not that I don't want to talk about them at all. It's just that, like, when we bring those to this live in particular, like this type of live, then the whole live becomes about it. And so I'm not trying to do a debate about some of those specific political topics. That's just not what I want the live to be about. So, um, I do agree with you that that's important to talk about. Hmm. SM says many of us also think that our experience showed us that religion has real costs in society that we want to fight. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the U.S., right, and so Christianity is playing an enormous role in the government right now. Oh, you're so welcome, Walt. I'm glad it's helpful. I'm definitely still kind of finding my footing on YouTube. So I'm glad that I'm glad you find the videos helpful. Wow, that's a lot of seconds. What about Spartan mythology? Thanks, SM. I appreciate that. Thanks, Minnie. Yeah, I need to figure out a better way to have a topic for a live in that, like, I'm used to on TikTok, I can make us a sticker. And I don't really, there's not like an easy way to do that on here. So I don't know. I need to figure out how to have more topics. Eris says, with holidays, the secular commercializing of the holidays helps celebrating without religion, but that's also a problem for other reasons. Yeah, around Christmas time, people ask me very frequently, do you celebrate Christmas? And I do, because there's so many secular things to do in celebration. Am I on OBS or Streamlabs? Well, right now I'm just on my phone. I think on my laptop I have OBS. Oh, Charles, I think they're asking about like helping me put stuff up there. Hey Pebble. So I'm not a Christian anymore because I just don't believe that it's true. But I have a playlist on like on my main page that gives my backstory. You can put text in a source. What does that mean, TTV? Aw, troll baby. You know what's really amazing about the internet is you can create your own space and you can have whatever rules you want. And if you don't like my rules on my live, then you can create your own live and say whatever you want. Hi, Justin. Thanks. What do you mean ex-Christian? It means that I used to be a Christian and now I am not anymore. Ice cream, Julia. Oh, thank you, TTV. I appreciate that. Why don't I believe any longer? Well, it's a bit of a long story, but it was a long process of questioning and never getting really satisfactory answers. Justin, you're such a celebrity. If you guys hear snoring, that's Ruby. Hi, Milan. Oh, you all right, Rubes? She just woke herself up. Do I have any pets? I do. Well, hang on. Oops. Wait, no, get it together. Sorry. There's Ruby. Hi, Rubes. She's snoozing. Oh, I'm bad at this. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Ruby's a Great Pyrenees. Well, hey, Dylan, I'm glad you're here. Hi, Missy. Did you leaving the faith create family problems? So, telling my parents was really difficult. They were definitely sad. It was a hard discussion, but you know, I'm lucky in that we were able to still have a good relationship. So it's been okay. I did unfortunately lose a lot of friends in the process. I don't know what those things are. What made you lose your faith? I think new life experiences, getting new perspective, seeing things differently. But yeah, I do have an FAQ playlist. How do you respond to someone proselytizing to you now? It depends on the context. So, I mean, online is one thing where, sometimes I'll get into a discussion with someone, but usually I just let it go. In person, it really depends. I've had a few people kind of come to my door. I'm like, listen, buddy, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I promise I'm not the right target. Do you feel like they weren't real friends? No, the thing was, it wasn't like when I stopped believing they just cut off contact or anything. It wasn't like that. It was just that when I stopped believing, every time we spent time together, they were just trying to convince me to come back. And so it really altered our friendship because I was a project, and I don't know, it made things difficult. And I think it's probably pretty common for that to happen. Good night, Erin. Hi, Cypher. Charles is my friend and moderator. Thanks. Cypher, out of all of the appearance comments that I have gotten tonight, I really appreciate that one. uh, Pebble, if you just go to like my profile, that will get you there. Yes, Tom, they tell me I'm church hurt all the time. Oh, you're in Vienna, Austria. How awesome. JJ says, I'm wrestling with reconnecting with friends I brought to the faith I left 15 years ago. Yeah, that's, I mean, I think if this is someone you want to reconnect with, just kindness and honesty, Um, and I think it'll be different if they are trying to bring you back or if they're going to be hurt and upset that you don't believe. I'm not sure what what the situation is. What's the playlist called? Charles, what does it look like when I think it should say like FAQ or frequently asked questions. Hi, Demi. What role did the pandemic play in your decision? So just to clarify two things. One, I stopped believing in God in 2009. So the pandemic played no role. But also my non-belief was not a choice. I didn't choose to stop believing. And in fact, at the time, I really, really wanted to keep believing, and I just wasn't able to. Hi, Clementine. So I stopped being a Christian because I stopped believing that it was true. Sounds good, Pebble. Hey, Roops. What's up, honey? Ruby is this giant dog, and for whatever reason, every night she's been getting scared at night. Like, big girl, you could scare away anything that's bothering you. Oh, that's a really interesting way of putting that, Tom. Hi, Seth. Tom says, being a Christian seemed like living two lives, my humanness and my Christian life. Yeah, I mean, especially when I was like a teenager and in college, it was like, I can really relate to that, like feeling like you had sort of two different lives. Ryan. Are you still able to enjoy the music of Journey now that you've stopped believing? That's funny. Now that song's in my head. Hi, pretty girl. Eldon, hi. Thanks, Charles. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Clementine. Hello. If you guys want to see Ruby. Hey, Rubes. Want to say hi? Say hi to all the peoples? Yeah? Tell them you're a big scaredy cat? You afraid? It's okay. It's okay. Hi, Patrick. Oh, Rubes. Okay, baby. Okay, hi. Good night, Zachary. Ruby is kind of camera shy. Hey, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Thanks. Okay, but I'm afraid I'm gonna mispronounce it, actually. Anna Rude? Oh, that's interesting. Tom says it was the sayings of Buddha that helped me find peace from the madness of the Pentecostal church. Okay, I'll take it. Oh man, Teen Wolf. I don't think I've seen that in a really, really long time. You okay, Ruby? You're not scared anymore? It's okay. Hi, Shelly. Well, friends, it is getting to be my bedtime. So I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna for sure be on YouTube on Tuesdays. And if you want to get a hold of me, TikTok's probably the better way to do that. I have the same handle on TikTok. And Justin from Deconstruction Zone and I are started a new series. We're going through the Bible, so definitely check that out. That's on my page as well. Have a wonderful night, and thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it.